while. We appreciate your energy in the gym for this special occasion. I want to do a couple of thank yous before we get started. Scott Bergman, the Sauk Center fans, are sorry you're to our back here, and the Sauk Center girls basketball team for giving us the extra time for this celebration at our halftime today. And to Audrey Hilder, Merritt Elliott, and Sarah Engelmeyer for helping decorate in the chapel. In 1972, Title IX, a federal mandate that made gender discrimination illegal, was passed, and we are here to celebrate the people standing in front of you tonight, among others, for their part in pioneering girls' activities at Melrose area. Title IX made it possible, but the individuals standing behind me to my right, and the individuals you'll see here on the TV in a little bit, they're the reason it happened. Their commitment to girls' activities has been for the 50 years since. They should be commended for taking on the task of helping girls' activities thrive in Melrose. Before we recognize our honorees, let's have anybody who has coached a girls' activity, Sauk Center or Melrose, please stand. Anybody who has coached a girls' activity. Wow, that is great. How about anybody that played a girls' activity over the last 50 years? Please stand up. So we're going to honor the first few coaches from each of the activities. And our first one tonight is Judy Henderson, who was one of the first coaches in gymnastics. In 1970, Judy interviewed with John Valzino for a private position. She asked him if the school had a gymnastics program. The answer was no. However, he asked if she wanted the job or if she wanted her husband to have it. Her husband took the job. Then Gloria Rylander called her and asked her to coach gymnastics with her, and she said yes. She assisted her for a year, and then assisted Nancy O.J. for a few years after that. When her girls were on the team, she helped with the elementary girls program as well. She coached dance line for 1 year. After that, she helped Merritt Elliott with choreography for approximately 20 musicals. And as for a matter of time, let's just do 2 claps for everybody here, and then we'll do some big rounds of applause at the end. So, Judy Henderson, gymnastics. The next honoree is Jerry Fannenstein. Jerry Fannenstein passed away a couple years ago, unfortunately, but we want to make sure he was our first softball coach here in Melrose. Jerry Fannenstein loved sports, and when the opportunity came around to set up a girls softball team, he took it. He was a competitive person and wanted his team to do well and win in every game. He had some really talented girls come out to play. In his 32 years at MHS, he taught Phi Ed and also coached boys swimming. Jerry Fannenstein. Our next honoree, Joe Timmons. Hold on. Joe's going big, all right. Joe Timmons, girls tennis. Mr. Joe Timmons started teaching in Melrose in '64, retired in '99. He started the girls tennis program in the fall of '94 and continued as their coach until 2008. Dennis Rodmaker, who is here tonight, served as his JV coach for all but the first year. In the first few seasons, it was a challenge to find things to highlight at the annual banquet. At first, they talked about games won, then sets won, and only later matches won. Melissa Keene was our first singles player, and she was the first state tournament participant in doubles along with her partner Sarah Fries, a German foreign exchange student from Germany in Oakland. In about 1999, girls tennis started benefiting the girls who had started playing tennis before 7th grade as a result of some summer and our home tennis experiences. The most talented was Heather Schaefer, who made the varsity in 7th grade and who led the team to 2 state tournament appearances in 0203, and who finished her varsity career with an unbelievable 140 wins, followed by Nicole Klemke with 100. About that time, 3 of the 5 Pachimba sisters and her cousins who played tennis at Melrose made their debuts, and what followed were many state tournaments at hand with team and individual participants. Coaching girls tennis was the highlight of his teaching career. Seeing these athletes grow in skills and confidence is very encouraging. He often thinks of the talents that would have remained hidden and the opportunities that would have been lost if it hadn't been for these Title IX provided experiences. And we are now watching a third generation of girls whose lives will be so different because they too get the opportunity to carry on this great tradition. Joe Timmons. Next honoree, Pam Hogan. Pam Hogan! Pam Hogan taught junior high and high school art in Melrose with Jim Luke and Joe Leach from 75 to 78. Pam founded the Melrose Rosettes dance team in 76. Dave Seaman is responsible for wooing her to begin dance line. Pam left Melrose to marry Tom Torrey in 1978. Pam taught art in Lakeville High School until her retirement in 2010. She founded the Lakeville Light Liners and coached for 10 years. In 1980, Pam Torrey, along with other dance line coaches, formed the Minnesota Association of Dance Teams. She served on that board for 15 years, and the state dance competitions were initiated and organized by these coaches. The high school league took over the state competition format to what it is today. The first state competition was held in '81, and Pam remembers seeing the Melrose Rosettes perform at St. Olaf College in Northfield. One of her former dancers was now their coach. What a thrill to watch them perform. Congratulations to Melrose athletes and their coaches. I am grateful to Dave for talking. She is grateful to Dave for talking her into forming the Rosettes dance team. Due to his pep talk, she enjoyed many, many years of working with high school dancers, fellow coaches in Minnesota, and wish the best for Melrose area in the future. Go Dutchman. Thank you, Pam. Gloria Rylander. Gloria Rylander. Okay. There she is. Hi, Gloria. Gloria graduated college in May of '72. Remembered scrambling to get her coaching certification class completed before graduation. She started teaching in Melrose in the fall of '72 and taught for 3 years before leaving to go to the Peace Corps in Costa Rica. She really enjoyed working with this age of girls and remembered their enthusiasm in getting involved in sports. One of the biggest challenges she recalls was getting space to practice, and the same it is as it is now. The boys' basketball team was very strong at the time, so they were often a struggle for gym space. Weekend gymnastics practice was the solution at the time. Girls' sports being what they are today, it's gratifying to know that she played a small part in this movement. Wishing continued success to all students and coaches. Go Dutch. Gloria Rylander. Jackie O'Brien. Here she comes. Jackie O'Brien. Mary Tuesday, who we're going to talk about in a little bit, was the first volleyball coach, but Jackie O'Brien took over after 1 year, so that's why we're honoring her tonight. Jackie O'Brien coached girls varsity volleyball 1 year after Miss Tuesday coached the first year. Then Jackie coached the team through the fall of '87. Assisted girls basketball for a couple of years. Jackie was a member of the Sauk River Players. She was the vocal director for our high school musicals with Merritt Elliott. She began teaching elementary music in Melrose, New Munich, and Springfield in the fall of '72, and continued teaching music at Melrose until she went on a teaching sabbatical in the fall of 1988. To see the girls develop their athletic skills in each sport, to help develop a true team effort and team attitude, each year seeing the teams improve their individual and team skills and also develop into mature young women made Miss O'Brien really proud. She says there were so many times we could work with each other, we learned through the tough times, celebrated, and also learned from the good times. And now we've had 50 years to thank Title IX for all those memories and opportunities. She sincerely thanks you, the athletes, coaches, the fans, and school district in Title IX. Jackie O'Brien. Dave Seaman, girls cross country. In an attempt to have more girls have an opportunity to participate in a fall activity, the school board decided to add girls to our already existing boys cross country program. So in the fall of 1978, it was added as a sport, and at the time he was the boys coach. So the first year we had only 3 girls try the sport, but we had some good ones with Glenna Gruber, Mary Kay Klemke, and Kim Welton. The program grew slowly over the next few years, with the highlight the girls finished second in the conference meet. By the early 1980s, the school began making budget cuts, unfortunately, and took a look at all activities. It was decided to cut the boys and girls cross-country teams, so the last year of cross-country was in fall of '84. Over the years, some of the girls that participated included, if I mess up your name, I'm sorry, Patty Salzman, Sharon Dickhouse, Nancy Jabowski, Michelle Foley, Bev Schmeezing, Ann Nagard, Joyce Lowry, Beth Atkinson, Denise Spellenberg, Vicki Meyer, Kay Zake, Carla Kramer, Gina Uphoff, Lynn Westerhouse, Ann Lemke, among others. In addition, Mr. Sieben was our activities director here at Melrose when we added girls tennis and girls softball. Over the years, he helped hire many of our great girls coaches. Let's give it up for Mr. Dave Sieben. Nancy Ojay. After 33 years of teaching and 17 years of coaching varsity gymnastics, Nancy looks back with fond memories of some of the best years of her life. In 1975, Melrose started high school league gymnastics. There weren't a lot of expectations for the team at first. We shared half the gym with the basketball team at the old high school to practice. Every practice we had to set up and take down. She believed the cartwheel on the wood beam was a superior move. The vault looked nothing like what they have now. Also, a handspring vault was unheard of back then. Then a round-off back handspring on the old wrestling mat was every girl's goal. Lastly, on the uneven bars, a pose was required in the routine. Any stop now is a large deduction. Gymnastics has come a long, long way. Even with all hardships and many moments of joy, the girls and coaches just loved what they were doing. Nancy remembers the girls being so excited to play any sport. Title IX is the best legislation ever. Nancy Ojay. Jim Plouffe. Mr. Plouffe was our first girls golf coach. It was for 16 years. He was a girls basketball coach for 19 years. He taught art for 34 years, subbing after that for 17 years. Doesn't look that old, does he? No. Served on golf advisory board of the high school league in the 80s. He wrote a booklet for beginning golf coaches for the high school league. And he was inducted into the Golf Coaches Hall of Fame in 2013. Had always wanted to coach and provided him with an opportunity to give back to the two sports he most enjoyed. When he first came to Melrose, he organized junior golf in the summer. Quite a few girls showed up. Most had played golf only socially, had never had a lesson, and was fun to introduce them to competitive golf. Not many girls teams in the area then. First season only had about 5 meets. They were a great first group. A favorite memory among many. First meet ever was a duel at Sox Center. Two golfers who had not played much were paired and sent out to start on hole 5. About a half hour went by, and he noticed both of them walking back toward the clubhouse. He went out to meet them and asked why. The player said that she had already lost all of her golf balls, had borrowed some from her opponent and lost all of those, and they didn't have any left. Took her to the clubhouse, got her coat, and they waited for the others to finish. Mr. Jim Plouffe. Carol Priatta. Carol Priatta was our first competitive swimming coach and our synchronized swimming coach. In 1971, Carol was hired by Melrose School District to teach physical education, and because of Title IX, became the girls' first competitive swim coach. She was excited to coach the Dutchman girls team.
Hey Mark, this is Angel from KDDG.
In the early 70s, there were fewer meets with less events and shorter distances, but the girls were excited for the opportunity to finally compete against our neighboring schools. A favorite competition was always against the Sox and Main Streeters. In high school, Carol participated in the one sport that was offered for girls in Fargo, synchronized swimming. She started using sink swim skills as a conditioning tool with her competitive team. The girls fell in love with the sport. The swimmers could not get enough and would ask her to stay after practice to teach them stunts and skills. In 1972, with the pool standing empty in the spring, she started the team, calling themselves the Aqua Dolls, and presented their first water show for family and friends. This year's show is directed by past swimmers she coached and will celebrate 50 years of synchronized swimming in the Melrose area. So come on to the show if you can. Carol could not be more proud of the program she coached for 37 years and is so unique to Melrose. Title IX changed her life and the lives of countless girls. Thank you, Melrose, for the privilege of coaching and teaching your students. Carol Priatta. Mary Tuesday. Ready for this? sports at the time. Mary was Title IX before Title IX was passed. When Coach Henderson first launched basketball, the girls were only allowed to play half court because full court would be too taxing on the girls. Those half court girls played hard in their skirts and tennis shoes. Coach Tuesday may have instructed basketball, volleyball, track, and cheerleading, but what she really did was empower young women. She instilled self-worth, taught them the value of hard work, fearlessness, and pride. Coaching was her life. If she was not coaching, then she was nothing. She was fearless when it came to empowering girls. One day, Coach Tuesday had the gym reserved for the girls. The boys' basketball team needed it that day too. The boys came into the gym thinking the girls would just step aside. Coach Tuesday said, no way. She held strong and refused to take her girls off the court. She may not have made many friends with the faculty that day, but her girls witnessed greatness. If you were coached by Coach Tuesday, you were loved, held to a high standard, believed in, pushed, yelled at sometimes, and empowered to greatness. Going to the state championship as a small school is one of Coach Tuesday's best experiences. The girls' basketball team took third place in 1979. Most of all, many state track athletes and years of success in track as well. Most of all, Coach Tuesday liked to see her girls do well in running. Coach Tuesday's girls got to see firsthand when the world tells you no, you go figure out how to get a yes. No one was going to stop her from helping others be extraordinary. Coach Mary Tuesday. Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate your attention. And go Dutchman. Thank you very much.